calcium caseinate, hydrolyzed yeast, textured protein, yeast food, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, hydrolyzed protein are all food enhancers we ingest every day. And what they all have in common is that they are a form of monosodium glutamate, otherwise known as MSG, which is a flavor enhancer agent that is put in food. Today I'm going to persuade you that this specific food enhancer, monosodium glutamate, or MSG, is not only dangerous to ingest, but it can cause physical harm to your brain now and in the long term of your life. For those of you who disagree with me, I'm going to show you the physical harm that MSG can cause when ingested. For those of you who disagree with me, I'm going to show you the physical harm. And those of you that agree, I will show you how to be better informed so that you can persuade others of these hidden dangers. Personally, my husband was diagnosed with a brain cancer 8 years ago. After this, we looked up many health sites and read many books on what the hidden dangers are that we ingest in our bodies every day without even knowing it. Also, lately I've accessed many numerous online documentation and clinical studies about the effects of MSG on the brain and the body. Now I'm going to show you how food enhancers, specifically MSG, started being put in food, the long and short term and harmful effects of MSG, and how to identify MSG in the food so we can avoid. MSG is not a compound that we have recently produced. In 1909, a Japanese man identified the natural flavors enhancing substance of seaweed. From there, he made a man-made substance called MSG.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like this.
What's that?
It is a powder form that they often can sell in the Orient and serve.
Ow!
Here we show the many food additives. The flavoring agent that is put into food are flavor enhancers, and that is where an MSG is. This ingredient hadn't become widespread in the U.S. until after World War II, because the U.S. military realized that the Japanese rations tasted better than the U.S., and that is because they used MSG. Studies show that the body uses glutamate, an amino acid, as a nerve impulse transmitter in the brain, and that there is glutamate, responsive tissue in other parts of the body as well. This is MSG, is this silent killer lurking in your kitchen cabinets, April 1999. As this quote states, yes, we do need glutamate, and people often argue that it's okay to ingest. But I will show you when it is man-made and ingested in the food that we eat, it causes problems. In 1959, the U.S. Drug Administrative labeled MSG as safe. And just 10 years after that, it was a condition known as the Chinese restaurant syndrome entered the medical literature, describing the numerous effects from numbness to heart palpitation that people experienced after eating food that had MSG. Now we know how MSG is made and how it started being put in our food. Let's look at the side effects. When we ingest MSG, it can cause harmful effects. MSG is considered an exotoxin, meaning it overexcites the cells to the point of damage or death to that neuron. Many short-term effects of MSG are headaches, fatigue, disorientation, numbness, chest pain, nauseousness, and vomiting. Death by overstimulation causes a condition where too much calcium enters into the cell. This influx of calcium triggers excessive amount of free radicals, and these kill the cell. That is why they are referred to as exocytotoxin. They excite or stimulate the nerve cell to death. The large majority, 75% of nerve cell in a particular area of the brain that are killed can be killed before any clinical symptoms of chronic illness is noticed. You may not notice that you have any problems with this for many years to come. Some chronic illness that have been shown to contribute to by long-term exposure of exocytotoxins are ALS, memory loss, hormone problems, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, brain specializes in neuroendocrine disorders. This article review is by Dr. Russell Baylor, book, Exotoxin, The Taste That Kills, 2013. According to the University of Illinois Medical Center, about 15% of Americans are sensitive to MSG. That means out of you 5 and me and the one listening to this speech, one of us will have these symptoms. A while ago, my daughter was sick. I got her a Campbell soup, chicken noodle soup. As I was opening it, she said she didn't like that soup. It gave her headaches. She had been experiencing a symptom of being sensitive to MSG. Now that we know the symptoms and effects of ingesting MSG, let's look to see if we can find out if it's in our food and how to read the labels. As we look at the food we eat, we can identify if the MSG is in there. On this label of Campbell soup, it says monosodium glutamate. It is the top 8 ingredients, meaning it is used the most. Also, they have different names for it. Glutamic acid, sodium caseinate, calcium caseinate, all these are MSGs, just different names. Now these have a form of MSG in it. You see, it is required by the FDA that food manufacturers list the ingredients monosodium glutamate on food labels, but they do not have to label ingredients that contain the free glutamic acid, even though it is the main component of MSG. There are over 40 different labeled ingredients that contain glutamic acid. So we need to be aware of this when we look. I find it interesting that the manufacturers have found 40 different names in one food additive. In conclusion, I hope I have persuaded you that this specific food enhancer, MSG, is dangerous to your physical body. I've shown that MSG came about and how it was made, the harmful effects of MSG, and how to identify it so you can avoid eating it. Texture protein, sodium caseinate, hydrolyzed protein, these are all a few names of MSG. In response to this speech, I would like everyone to go to their pantry, grab their favorite snack, and look at the label. See if it says monosodium glutamate or one of the other names that I have shown you. I want you to think when you eat that food if it is worth compared to the long-term effect of killing your brain cells. Don't kill your brain cells with the silent killer of MSG.